Hey everybody, it's Irritable Life, and today is day 7 of my 50 tips to positively affect your health. And originally, I actually was at Bryant Park, and I tried to do it, a little change of scenery since yesterday I wasn't able to, and I couldn't do it again today because, well, they were taking down the Winter Village, so there was construction going on, a lot of noise, and I said, forget it. And it was pretty cold anyway, so by the time I made it away around the park, um, I was like, forget it. And there was noises everywhere. So, here I am again. So, let's get to it. So, today we have acceptance. Once you identify the cause of stress, you can decide to avoid, reduce, eliminate, or accept it. Now, it's kind of funny that I didn't get to do this at Bryant Park because I had a weird commute. Now, first of all, stress comes in, oh man, stress comes from all directions. Sometimes, people are prone to putting stress on themselves by worrying about different things. It's not your fault. These things happen because I am one of those people. That's why I got to the point where I had panic attacks. Paranoia. That is something I don't tell many people. And, it's because mental health is, it's getting more coverage. People are talking about it a little bit more, but there's still a stigma around it. If you, back a few years, maybe even 10 years, if you said you were anxious, you had anxiety or something, people will look at you weird. Panic attacks, forget it. People are like, well, I don't know. I don't want to talk to this one. Stuff like that. Because I don't really talk about that stuff to many people except for my family because I could see how they would react when there was a news story of an actor or somebody else that made it in the news for whatever reason that had these, panic attacks, anxiety, and stuff like that. They didn't, not everybody is like that, but a lot of people kind of turn their noses up at them. It happens, in this day and age, it happens even more. You have social media that is opening a whole world of stress in the sense that everything that's going on everywhere. You see everything more, it's all over Facebook, it's all over Twitter, this person killed this one. I worked in the news. So I already know all this. That's why I had to leave. Not because I didn't love my job. I loved it. It was a wonderful job, wonderful people, but I couldn't. I couldn't keep reading everything that was going on because I just couldn't fathom why people would do certain things, which is why I try my best to stay away from the news. And unfortunately, you need to keep up with the news to know what's going on. And it just seems to be more, I don't know, the headlines are just enough for you to be like, wow, really? Again? So that's stressful for me. It might be for a lot of other people. Let's say the punching game a couple years ago, I started to get panic attacks. That was stressful because it was happening everywhere. I was like, oh my God. And, I hadn't taken control of my emotions at that point. I was still on that crazy spiral, just anger, anxiety, worry, not paranoia just yet, but I was getting there. Because of everything, I was exposing myself to that willingly, which is why I try to take a step back. These are ways that you can reduce your stress. Evaluate what is stressing you out. The news stresses me out. The headlines, the first 10 minutes of a newscast is all stuff, like big stuff that happens, Unfortunately, it's all bloodthirsty headlines, bad things, the worst things that you can imagine happening, like breaking news, this guy slashed this person. And you need to know these things, definitely. But it's not good for here if you're always tuning into the news. It can take a toll on you. Trust me, I know. So I took a step back. I left the job because of that. And as far as now, I have to take a step back. It's really not good. You need to know what's going on, definitely. Maybe once a week, that sort of thing, if you're really affected by these sort of things. But man alive, it's it can really take a toll on you emotionally. You worry about your friends, your family. You're saddened by the things that people do to each other, to kids, to dogs. It's it's just not something that a lot of people can handle. I'm one of them. I cry, I ache. So even thinking about it is a little stressful because that's just who I am. So taking a step back, like I said, is super important. I evaluated that part of my life, both then and now. Is this really what I need? This is really hurting me. It's making me depressed. It's making me sad. It's making me worry. So that's the kind of stress I can totally have control over. Turn off the TV, unfollow the news pages on Facebook, not look at Twitter, or unfollow those kinds of things. Or if you see a headline, that's it. You saw the headline, you know what it is. Some of them are so graphic you already know. Then just move on. Don't even bother clicking on the story. These are things that you can do. There's a lot of other things that are kind of out of your control. Like my commute home. It was a little frazzling. I think that's the right word to use. I don't even know. Like, people are so angry these days. They really need some meditation. Holy cow. You know, they get upset over anything, and it just kind of frazzled me a little bit. I stayed on my phone, glued to my phone, pretending like I did not hear what was going on, which helped me because, you know, the person left in the end. But it did frazzle me a little bit, you know, and I'm home, so I'm going to have my cup of tea to unwind. That's not something I could control. It was a bit stressful, but it's not something I could control other than the fact that I completely ignored this person. What I can control is how I react to it. I didn't react too well. I started getting paranoid because, you know, I'm down to the one meditation. So, you know, the meditation helps a lot with that, with those. This is the kind of person I am, just so you know. When my mind gets going, I'm envisioning Law and Order episodes happening here. Like, oh my God, next on Law and Order, oh my, you know, this person, Miss Perez, but stuff like that. That is me, which is so hard to turn off. So the transcendental meditation helped. Just having fun and going out helps. This also helps, which I will be diffusing tonight so that I can have a restful night's sleep. And this is Serenity. So this is something that doTERRA has that smells super wonderful. It has that hint of vanilla, which I love so much. You can, you know, which I should probably do right now. You know, as I said, just one drop is all you need, really. I mean, these are super, super amazing and potent. Do I still have any? Yeah, I do still have any. Just one is all you need. And I should probably put it here so it doesn't drop. And then just, oh, see, I can already smell it. That's all you need. Just one drop. And I don't even cup my hands too much because it's pretty strong. But oh, that's all you do. Oh, see, I could smell it. Oh, it's great. It's really great. And that's it. That's all you need. You can dilute this. I actually already had some hand cream on, so it's a little more greasy because I put some hand cream on before. But look at that. I'm smelling it right now. It smells really good, and it helps. It helps me unwind. A little bit more calm, and once I diffuse it, you know, I sleep pretty great, you know, and you know, there are times where I can't sleep. I can control how I react, you know, how I am able to move past a certain situation. Using that oil is how I can do it. It's how I can just kind of unwind and maybe just calm down those stressful emotions. You know, you want to reduce, eliminate, or accept the cause of your stress. I can accept my job for now because it can be a cause of stress. Everybody's job can be a cause of stress. Deadlines, you know, people at work or commuting to work, you know, these are things you accept because it's your job. Whether you love it or you hate it, every job is going to have its setbacks. That's life. You know, even life it's the same thing. In life, you're always going to have some setbacks, right? You know, I accept that this is the life that I have, and there's so many things I can do about it. I accept the stresses in my life. I'm accepting it now because a lot of the stresses and a lot of the things that I've gone through have made me who I am. And I may not appreciate myself as much as I probably should, but I'm accepting my situation. You know, I'm accepting it, and I'm willing to move on from whatever life throws at me. You know, as far as my job, I accept the stresses of my job. I'm not going to say that, you know, I'm like, oh, this is great, we have to do this all over again, wonderful. No, I'm not going to say that. You know, I can have a potty mouth when it comes to stuff like that, but I'm working on it. I have my good days and bad days. We all do. It's part of being human. You know, you can reduce the amount of stress, like I said, when it comes to the news, for example. You can reduce the amount of stress by turning off the TV, staying away from your phone. Relationships, that's another stress. You can reduce or eliminate it by reevaluating your relationship. If things aren't going well, do you need to be in this relationship? Is the person really good for you? Do you know, everything comes to play. Are you right for each other in the sense of, do you have things in common? Can you work whatever it is out? Sometimes all you have to do is sit down with the person to work something out. You know, instead of shutting each other out, sit down, have a conversation, and see where you can take things from there. Sometimes it comes to the point where you're in two different places, and it's better to just leave the relationship instead of staying there, because neither of you is going to be happy if your life is pulling you somewhere else. It can also be in a relationship that it's a one-sided relationship. You're the only one who's doing anything in the relationship. Maybe that's a case. And in that case, you have to remember that you're worth a lot. And if someone is not giving you the time, if someone's giving you the runaround, if they avoid you, if they give you the song and dance of I'm too busy, or try to blame you, which some people tend to do, then sit down, reevaluate that relationship, and say to yourself, do I deserve this? Is this what I really want out of life with this person? When it comes to family, family is tough. You can't really leave them, right? You know, they're your family. And, you know, I'm sure holidays can be tough. You know, going home for the holidays is a big deal because, you know, it's always, you know, you're gathering around the kitchen or the living room. You know, what are you doing? How are you doing? Are you married yet? No, you're not married. You don't want to answer those kinds of questions. Maybe some people do. I personally don't like to answer those kinds of questions because I don't want to get married. That's just me. You know, if the time comes that I do, great, but it's the pressure I don't like. I'm not saying that my family is always like that. You know, they're really not, but every once in a while, and you hear stories of other people who actually do go through this a lot. So I'm blessed that I'm not pressured like other people, but it does happen. So you could step away from the situation, you know, go out, say, hey, you know, I got to get some more pumpkin pie, or you know what, we could use some more wine. Let me get some more, you know, or just politely tell them, look, I am not comfortable talking about this right now. Let's just move on and let's just enjoy the moment, you know, with each other. So there are things that you can do. Always take a step back and reevaluate everything that you're going through, all the stresses in your life. All it takes sometimes is just a little time. That's it for today. I will be back tomorrow with day 8 of positively affecting your health. Have a good one.